All right, this is Patty Younger with My Younger Life, and I'm again with Jen Hawks.
Hi.
How are you? What have you been up to this week?
Oh, I've just been working away, and I am observing Lent for the first time in my life because the denomination I
Yeah, you didn't
was.
come. You weren't raised like I was.
No,
We did it all the time.
I was raised Baptist, and so we didn't do that, and I just really felt drawn to it this year. Anyway, I don't know, I'm really enjoying my time of focus. I'm reading the Beatitudes every day.
Oh, really? That sounds like a cool
And
idea.
well, we've put all this major focus on the 10 Commandments, and I don't know why we don't shift that over to the Beatitudes. I'm like, because that was Jesus, and he's he's ushering in the fulfillment of all things. And so I think everything's fulfilled in those. I've just really been enjoying going over those every day. And you would think that reading the same thing over every day would become redundant. But whenever you really try to just focus in and hone in on it, it's like these new little revelations pop up in it each day for me. So reading the Beatitudes every day has been great. And I'm reading from different translations. So I'm able to see different things. I don't know. It's just been great.
That sounds like
I've
something
really
that I might steal from you because I struggle with what to focus in on or do each day, and I'm really bad about not doing stuff each day.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a doer and a DIY and all that stuff is when I wake up in the morning, I've already got this list of things I want to accomplish that day, and it never includes God time. So I have to actually try to plan, and if I don't do it early, I don't do it.
Right.
If I don't get it done.
Well, honestly, I think God time is all day, every day. He's right there. I mean, we may not recognize him, but he's in all of our doing. But I think there's just something really special that happens when we're intentional with all right, I'm just going to sit here with you. And I'm not going to do anything else. We can go do our other things together here in a minute. But right now, we're going to sit down and be intentional with each other. So.
Well, that sounds like a cool thing. I might have to try that.
It's been great.
I always think of my mom whenever I hear the Beatitudes because I thought that she embodied the meekness part.
Yes.
I always thought that, and it's just like, wow. But I'm not like her, unfortunately. I really wanted to be like my mom, but
that's okay.
That's all right.
You're like you.
Yes, that's right. I am me.
Yes.
All right, so you have something on your heart today.
Yeah, just something I've been thinking on. The month of February, we really focused a lot on love, which, seems kind of Hallmarkish. But we really honed in on loving God, what it looks like to love God, our neighbor, sitting in love. Oh my goodness, we did this awesome exercise at church. Patty and I just happened to be sitting next to each other at church on Sunday morning. And we did this exercise where we had to behold one another because we were talking about beholding the love of God and how it can be really foreign to a lot of us because we don't take time to sit and behold something. But whenever you really take time to sit and behold someone, like we had to stare into each other's eyes, and it felt awkward at first, but then it was like amazing. Like it was just amazing. So, we just been really focused in on all of this. Neil and I were talking. He said something the other day that really made me start thinking and kind of doing a deeper dive. And he said, sometimes it's easier to just not love the other person. Then he stopped himself and he was like, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's easier or if it's just lazier. And that really got me. So I wrote it down and I was like, I know there's something deeper in this that I need to really go into. I thought, the lie is that it's easier not to love someone. That's a lie. We convince ourselves that it's easier just not to love someone, especially if there's someone that gets on our nerves. We all have these people in our lives. You're supposed to love everybody, and it's really easy to love our friends and, whatever. There are some people we just find it really hard to love, whether we have personality clashes or we're just cut from such different cloths that we find it hard to understand each other. Or whatever. We have different points of view. My goodness, the state of our world right now. We have such different points of view. It's really hard for, it's almost become like your opinion is who you are and, clashes with my opinion, then I just can't be in relationship with you at all. That's what
if you don't
the
agree
world's
with
teaching
this,
us.
Then you need to unfriend me. I saw some of
Yes.
those on social media. I'm like,
Yes.
well, I'm not going to unfriend you because I don't agree with you on something.
Yes.
But I'm not going to comment on this either because I'm just going to try to love you through this moment in your life.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're carrying a lot of baggage with that.
Yes. Like, just, I don't know, just the whole thing right now. It was, anyway, so I thought, the lie is that it's just easier not to love. Because when we choose not to love, there are things that come with that, right? If I'm choosing not to love, then I am, if I'm choosing anything lower than love, then that can lead to resentment, bitterness, self-righteousness, all kinds of those things, and those are really low vibrations in the earth. It just keeps everything at a really low point.
Yeah, it's definitely not empowering point of view or being in a state of where you should be, of what you're created to be.
Exactly.
You're holding yourself back.
Exactly. It goes against who we were created to be. Who the Father saw in his heart when he created us. He created us to be love and to love. That's what he created us for. Anytime that our thinking, our belief system, it does not line up with that, does not agree with that, then our behavior and our experiences are going to fall short of that. I think that's what falling short of the glory of God is when, these things fall below love. And so I was like, that's really it's harder not to love someone because of the effects that it has on you. The effects that it has on you, the effects that it has on them. My goodness, sometimes when you just choose to love somebody, especially when they know maybe they have been hard to love and you love them, the things it can set free in a person, the things it can reveal to a person, it holds us all back and it makes it a harder way of living.
And I think it's obvious in your very physical mannerisms and what you look like, whether you are living out of love or out of hate.
Oh, that is
and I'd like to get back to that in a minute because of what I believe about the love and hate thing. But we were just talking at work the other day, and there was this girl that would come into our place, and she was always so angry looking or hateful and ugly to us, and we were trying to treat her with respect, and it was getting hard because she was just downright ugly. Something has changed. All of a sudden now she comes and she's ordering different things. She's stepping outside of her comfort zone there because she always ordered the same thing, but we had to put 3 ice cubes in her drink.
Oh, 3.
If it wasn't correct, yes, 3 ice cubes. Yeah, it was that bad. Now she orders different things, takes risks. She jokes with us in the drive-thru. It's just a different person. And I was like, and everybody else is like, she's just really warmed up to us. And I said, no, something's changed in her life.
Something has changed inside of her.
Yes.
Right. And see, that's the thing. We make this loving other people about them when it's always about us. Whenever I was digging deeper into that, this whole thought of how it's really harder not to love, right? But here's what keeps us from it. My ability to love someone else has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with me. So the reason why it's just laziness is because sometimes it can be some work. It really usually is some work to do the inner work inside of me to figure out why I can't love this other person. Everything is inside of me. So now that this lady's behavior towards you guys has changed, you find it easier to love her.
Now it's a circle, and now she's reaping the benefits of that circle because she's getting a much better interaction with. When things are ugly for us, we throw up all over everybody around us a lot of times.
We have the tendency to do that.
I saw an episode, and I don't normally watch this show, but of Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
It was just playing in here the other day, and I caught this one part where young Sheldon was being really mean at the dinner table and to his dad. And they made him leave the dinner table, and his dad went in and talked to him, and he was like, I've just had a bad day, Dad, and stuff like that. And his dad was telling him about his day, which was equally as horrible. And he's like, but you didn't act like that. He said, well, see, that's it. When we have a bad day, we don't take it out on others around us. And I used to tell my students that all the time. Your bad day does not mean someone else has a bad day.
Right.
pulling that back into a love perspective, if you can hang on to that love perspective, you don't generally throw up all over everybody else.
Right.
Because you don't do that to someone you love.
You don't.
So the love-hate, I think that we really err when we try to play those as opposites. I don't think they're opposites, because two things that are opposite have equal power.
Ah.
And love and hate, they don't have equal power.
Right.
Love can push away hate completely, and
Sure.
hate can't embody where there is complete love.
Right.
You can have it the other way around. Someone that carries around a lot of hate can still love one person or two people.
Mm-hmm.
They can still have a little bit for someone, but they can't be in a complete circle of it. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
I just don't think the two, it's kind of like darkness and light.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not opposite at all.
Right.
Because light pushes away darkness, but darkness does not push away light.
No, it does not.
Darkness only exists because there is no light. But light can't. If light doesn't exist, it's not because of darkness.
Right.
I said that really in a strange way, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You turn on a light, it pushes darkness away. You turn the light off, darkness comes back.
Right.
You don't turn off and on darkness.
Yeah. Well, and in him, there is no darkness. He is
Right.
the light, and he says we are the light.
Mm-hmm.
We are lights.
And so I think it's light and love are almost the same thing.
Yes, I agree.
Illumination, I like that
Mhm.
word better than light.
Yeah.
Illumination really brings things forward.
Mm.
It makes everything brighter and more acceptable. And I know I'm not a person that. Are you a person that likes the lights off in your house at night and stuff? Do you
No,
like to
I
sit with the
always
lights
have-
off all the time?
No, I don't. I don't like that. I don't
I
like watching
hate it.
television with the lights off. It's like it gives me a headache. I need some. Now at night, I do like a softer
Mhm.
light. I like a softer light, like in the morning whenever I'm drinking my coffee. Like I like it to, I don't know, like a hug you light. Like
Gentleness.
yes,
Just kind of a
gentleness.
slowly awakening
a
into
light.
your day.
Yes, yes. But
I really
always like
don't.
light.
Yeah, I don't like lights off much. And
Well, talking about light and illumination, whenever the lights come on and light is shown on a thing, it really it lights that up. And I think that a lot of times that's inner work. That's inner work.
Mm.
That's allowing light to shine in those dark places.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying dark places like evil. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like there's parts of us that are maybe there's some things that are laying in the dark that we can't see, but once the light comes in, once that love is shown on those things, then that stuff comes to light, and then it's there for us to deal with.
right.
And so it becomes an opportunity to grow and to expand, and it becomes that opportunity. Now whether we take the opportunity is another story, but because it can seem like hard work.
Mhm.
It can seem like hard work, but it's so worth it.
Well, it's painful.
Yes.
It's very painful to see flaws. It's like we want to really stay on this light and dark thing. When you turn on a light, you see all your dirty corners.
Right.
You know,
gotta
you
go around
see
clean them up. Get your vacuum out, your mop.
Yeah, get this
Or-
new thing for the couches.
And the painful thing, you get a splinter in your finger, it hurts. It hurts taking it out, but
Right.
it immediately feels better once it's gone.
It's like when you mash your finger and get the blood under your fingernail.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing some of my shock trauma hours, when I was doing rescue squad stuff and I was in the ER,
Yeah.
this guy came in and he'd mashed his finger nasty and had blood trapped under the nail, and they have that little thing. It has a battery in it and a metal end on it, and they just dug a little
Yes.
hole in the nail, and the minute you do that, all that pressure is released through that
Mhm.
opening in the nail, and the pain and throbbing just goes away.
Yeah.
So if you can just put a little hole in there somewhere to release all that junk,
Yeah.
it will allow, and I don't want to say allow love to flow, because really love is powerful.
Yeah. It's flowing all the time anyway.
And that
But-
comes back to your original point.
Right.
How much work it is to hold love back.
Yes, it's the harder thing. And it's like, we have convinced ourselves that all of these lies are the truth, and that all of these lies, like the whole thing of, oh goodness, it's going to hurt to get that splinter out, or oh goodness, it's going to hurt when they take that thing and hearing that motor run and it's scary and it's going to get that out, but then all the pressure. The truth is that, oh my goodness, this is going to release you,
Mhm.
and you're going to feel better. It's going to heal you. It's going to be healing. That's the truth of something that we just, I don't know, we've believed these lies for so long that we automatically have certain emotions we attach to certain things, and we've convinced ourselves of all of these things when the truth is sitting out here. The truth of the matter is sitting out here. And so I feel like with what I was able to dig deeper into from Neil's comment is light. It's light. It has shed light on this. It's given me revelation to this. And so now what I do with it is up to me. You know, am I going to choose to love? Am I going to choose to do the hard work inside of me? Because there are a few people in my life that I find really hard to love. And I don't want that to be the case, but it just is. And so I'm like, this is more to do with me than it is to do with them. And so I'm just going to really have to do
that's very normal,
this
though.
inner work.
I mean, and if you just
it's become normal.
If you just have a few people, that's probably a lot lower than the majority of people out there.
Maybe. I'm not going to try to feel better about myself than others, though.
No.
I'm just going to deal with my own stuff because I have to.
Well,
I have to.
Not all personalities are going to fit together.
Oh, they're not. We don't have to be best buddies with everybody on the earth. I can still love you.
Another thing that I was kind of raised with this mindset too. Love everybody, but you don't have to like everybody. And I don't know that I really feel like that is a good way to put it.
Right.
I mean, I know what that's meaning. You don't want to hang around with everybody.
Right. Well, there's something in everyone that you can like. If you're holding on to something against them, that thing becomes so big that we can't see the things we like, or we won't allow ourselves to see the things that we like. But there's something to like in every person. Going back to the Beatitudes, just this morning, I felt like I got this revelation on the pure in heart, for they will see God. And I was reading out of the Passion Translation, and it said, you know, you will be at bliss. Listen, this is the Jen version of this. But you will be at bliss when you're with a pure heart, because you will be able to see more of God. And so I got this vision. Like as soon as I read that, I got this vision of me looking into a mirror. And I thought, oh my goodness, when my heart is pure, when I have a pure heart, living in and finding the pure heart of the Father, and I'm living from that place. When I look in the mirror, I'm going to see more of Him staring back at me because I'm image and likeness, right? And then whenever I look at you, I'm going to see more of God, more of His qualities in you, more of that image and likeness in you. I'm going to be able to pull that out because I'm walking around with this pure heart. So even if there are pieces of people or parts of people that I find I'm having a hard time loving, still, if I'm walking around with a pure heart because I'm trying, I want to love you. You know, I want to love you. I'm trying. I'm walking around with that pure heart. Then it's going to be easier for me to love you because I'm going to be able to see those good things and pull them out. And then I'll pull them out of you. We'll just start pulling them out of each other because we're able to see. This whole thing with loving God and loving each other and loving ourselves, it all flows in this beautiful dance, this beautiful relationship. You know, when I love God, I'm gonna love my neighbor. I'm gonna love myself. I can't love any of them without, like if I'm having a hard time loving God, I'm not gonna be able to love you. If I'm having a hard time loving you, I'm not gonna be able to love God. It all intertwines. It all goes together.
I think that one of the things you hit on that was that loving self.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't love themselves.
Well, we've been taught in the church forever that it's selfish, that you should not love yourself.
Oh,
your heart is deceitful and wicked.
Above all things and desperately wicked.
Oh,
who can know
desperately wicked.
I remember being taught that scripture in Bible school.
Oh, yeah. They wanted to get that in you early. I was like 10
years old, and I'm thinking, I'm desperately wicked?
And you learned that in your formidable years.
Right.
And that's when it's like really sticks. It's hard to get out of that.
That week.
Yeah.
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperate. That's taken out of context.
It is taken out of context.
It's not the whole chapter.
I remember when it hit me. That puts us in a place of we don't deserve anything. Oh my goodness. I'm a sinner saved by grace. And I just need to grovel at the feet and just be so thankful. We do need to be so thankful for what Jesus did for us. But here's the thing. I remember one day, whenever it hit me, He thought I was worthy of doing that for. So why don't I think I'm worthy of doing that for? He thought I was worth something. So why should we sit in this place of not being worthy of anything. We've got to bring ourselves up to Father sees
Well,
us.
and accept what we're supposed to be.
Accept it.
We don't acceptance is probably the biggest killer of all of it. And if you're running around thinking you're nothing but miry clay and dirt trash, how are you going to treat anybody else any more than that?
Well, and that'll be your behavior. Because
Mhm.
our behavior always follows our beliefs.
Yes.
Every single time. So if I'm nothing but a sinner saved by grace, then you know what? I'm going to struggle with sin my entire life.
Mhm.
That's going to be my struggle.
'Cause
But if
you're-
I believe that was taken care of and I am a daughter, we are sons and daughters. This is who our Father is. This is the family standard that He set. Then that's the one I'm going to live out. It just makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. That is another thing too. Goodness, if we never move from this sinner saved by grace thing, it's going to be next to impossible to truly love other people.
Mhm.
Because we have to get our mind right. Our minds have to be right. Our belief system has to agree with Him. And from that place, these things are attainable. They're able to be lived out.
I think that's what I got out of that. You know, we were talking at the very beginning about beholding one another and you and I having to do the staring contest.
Yes.
That I really struggled with. Jen already knows this. I struggled so much with it because I'm not a big eye contact person to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to deal with my own doubts about myself and I couldn't behold Jen because I couldn't get out of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing my own junk. I was being very self-conscious about someone else looking into my eyes because,
Right.
I mean, they're looking right into you. And I just felt walls and walls, like all these big metal slabs going up. And then she's sitting over here starting to cry, and that's just killing me because I'm like, okay, she's getting a lot more out of me than I am her, and I felt really bad about it, and no reflection on Jen. It had no reflection on you. It was all about me because I couldn't behold you or get anything out of it looking at you because I couldn't look outside of myself.
Right.
I couldn't it was like dying and trying.
Which
So I was like, I so want to get this now.
Which just reveals to you that you have more inner work to do so you can
Right.
see yourself rightly. That way you can start to look at other people.
And I go through these cycles of that, accepting myself, believing in myself, having confidence. I have confidence. I don't mind getting in front of people. I don't mind being who I am. We talk a lot about all the DIY and all of this stuff. I tend to gravitate toward doing a lot of stuff that's traditionally male done things.
Yeah.
I love mechanics. I love to work on things, cars, houses, whatever. I love to build stuff. And it took me years to accept that as who I am. Because
and be okay with it.
I didn't fit the stereotype of what a young woman, or in this case now an older woman. The older woman has a lot more confidence than the young woman did.
Sure.
The young woman kept that stuff hidden from people. We didn't talk about it.
Right.
I even would go into places. If I went into like a home improvement place or a car place, I would say my husband needs this, even though he didn't. It was me.
I think as we get older, we stop lying to ourselves so much.
Yeah.
Like we really are able to face ourselves.
So really, how do we get to this place of love?
We have to experience it for ourselves first before we can ever translate it in our own lives. So the whole sitting and beholding the love of God, like whether we're just sitting and we want to visualize the Lord's face or just try to visualize something or meditate on what love actually is so that we can get to a place where we're able to know that love and then experience it for ourselves, and then it can be passed out to others. But
you have to deal with yourself first.
Absolutely.
If you do not love yourself, no matter how many exercises you do, no matter how many books you read, no matter how many times you read the Bible,
right,
you are not going to be able to fully step into love and loving others until you love yourself.
I mean, it would be like me telling you, hey, you need to go try this new coffee creamer. It's the best coffee creamer in the world. Now, I've never tasted it. I hear it's good stuff. You should try that.
I have to do that work sometimes, and if it's something I really hate, I just have to tell them, well, we sell a lot of those.
Yeah. But it's ridiculous. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But we do that all the time. It's people so many times they just get really stuck at, okay, well then how do I feel the love of God? Like this is something I have to do or whatever. I think it's just a place we have to just be in it. We just have to allow ourselves to behold Him, to look at Him, to if you need to read scripture about it, then do that. That can give you like a reference point.
This was mentioned in church Sunday, and I've heard it a million times, and I can't remember now who produces this because I want to make a suggestion for everybody listening to this to go look it up, where he says, because he loves you.
Oh, Graham Cook.
Graham Cook.
Graham Cook.
And I don't know what that's called, what that particular episode is called.
That happened.
I'll look it up and put it in the comments under the podcast.
That would be great because that was a spontaneous thing.
Oh my goodness.
That was a spontaneous thing during a worship service one time.
And it was amazing.
Yes.
So I want to challenge everybody to go back and listen to Graham Cook's that I'm going to put in the podcast.
He loves you because
notes.
he loves you because he loves you because he loves you.
He doesn't love you anymore. He can't love you any less because it's already perfect love. It's already there.
It's already there.
So I want to challenge everybody in wrapping this up and winding this down. I'm going to try this week. You mentioned this earlier, and I thought that's something really cool because when I get ready in the mornings, it's just with the purpose of getting ready. The makeup, the hair and stuff. I never look in a mirror often at all. I don't like to look in a mirror at myself. There we go back to the eye contact or truly looking at myself. I don't like to. I don't know why. I just don't like to look at myself.
Yeah.
But I want to challenge everybody, and I'm going to take this challenge, to stare in the mirror into your own eyes and behold yourself.
Yes.
How long do you think that exercise was Sunday? It was like 2 minutes probably, right?
If that.
And it felt like 2 hours to me.
If that. Like, I don't even know that it was a full 2 minutes.
Everybody take and set a timer and as part of your morning ritual. And you think about how long it takes you to get ready in the mornings. I don't know. Some of you may take 30. I take like 15. I take hardly very little time. Truly set a timer. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. Look in the mirror and look directly in your own eyes and tell yourself you love you. And do it over and over for 1 minute. Yeah. I love me. I love me. If you want to change it up and say, I'm worthy of love, keep it focused on I love myself.
Yeah.
And let's do that every day. How many days does it take to make a habit? 28 days?
Something like that.
28 days. 28 days. And you guys comment in a month and let me know how it goes.
I think that's great.
All right.
Yeah. Behold yourself and behold him who is in you.
And I think that's what you'll see if you're really beholding.
Absolutely.
And then you'll just go, Let's see how it goes. I'm going to try it with you guys. So in a month, I'm going to comment on my own post, on my own podcast.
Yeah, and if you start self-deprecating, then you know that you just have all this inner work to do. And that's okay because, oh my goodness, instead of letting that overwhelm you, take that as I'm about to springboard. My life is about to change. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear from you guys. So until next time, have a great week, have a great day, and we love you.
Yeah.